Welcome, students, waiters, waitresses, servers, and our beloved restaurant owners. Donald Spangler here with Hospitality Institute International, bringing you another training video that will help you make bigger tips, more money, and more profit. In today's training video, we're going to cover the 12 basic tools that every top shelf server should have at his disposal, and techniques and tips to make you more money as a professional waiter. If you don't want to make more money, don't use any of these tips, don't use any of these tools. But the more of these tools you use, the more money you're going to make. Now, I'm going to start out at the top, and we're going to incrementally go down and put a value on each tool and technique, and I'll show you how that will add to your base tip. We're going to use a 10% as our base tip. So we're going to start with 10, and we're going to get up into the 20s somehow. And I'll address that, how to get up into the 30s as well. So starting at the top, the most important tool that you can have is your smile. So a smile will bring you more money. And they've done studies with servers that smile, and on average, they'll get about 1% more tip than people that don't smile. So you want your customer, your dining customer, to feel comfortable, and you want them to like you. And the more you smile, the more comfortable they are, and the more tip they'll pay, and the more at ease that they'll feel. So without going into a 30-minute dissertation, trust me, smile, smile, smile. And if you don't know how to smile, practice it until it becomes natural. Or as we say in the acting business, fake it till you make it. So smile, smile, smile. So on that base 10% tip, if you're smiling, you're up to 11%. Now that's tool number one. Tool number two is your professional uniform. Now, I have on basically a professional uniform today, which is a long sleeve shirt, button-down collar, tie, dark pants, dark shoes. In other videos that we've done, we've gone into much detail about the importance of the professional uniform. On average, a professional uniform will garner you about 2 to 3% more tip. When it's a subconscious or conscious decision by the dining customer, if they're being served by a person that looks very professional, they're going to give more tip. And on average, a professional uniform will get you about 2 to 3% more tip. So it doesn't make any difference if you're selling $5 tacos, $10 pizza, or $50 lobster and steak. If you wear that professional uniform, you're going to make more money. So the professional uniform is going to add 2 to 3%. We're going to be conservative and say 2. So now from that base tip of 10%, you're up to 13. 1% for smile, 2% for that professional uniform. The next item that's really important is your name tag and name recognition by the customer. Now you'll see I have a name tag here, and when I introduce myself or my students or that have graduated from our class get that professional job, not only do they announce their name, but they point to their name tag. So the name tag is very important. Now, if you don't have access to a plastic name tag, you can order those online, but the other thing you can do is you can take basically a business card of any kind And like this is a business card, and just turn it over and write your name on the back side of it. I'll hold this up here. Hope you can see that. And then with Scotch tape, just tape it onto your pocket of your shirt. Now that's going to require that you have a shirt with a pocket in it. So again, that's part of the professional uniform. So you have to have a shirt with a pocket. So I think that was item number 3. And again, that will add about 2 or 3% to your tip. The other thing you want to do is throughout the course of the dining experience, you want to mention your name as many times as possible. You should try to mention your name 7 times during the dining experience. And you might say, wow, I can't do that, I can't do 7 times. I'll show you real easy how you can get your name mentioned 4 times in probably the first 30 seconds of the dining experience. When your customer comes in and you say, I'll just go through the welcome here. Welcome to Omaha Steakhouse. My name is Donald, and Donald's going to be your server tonight. And Donald's goal is that you're going to have a wonderful dining experience with delicious food and Donald's extraordinary, wonderful service. Right there in 30 seconds, I mentioned my name 4 times. Trust me, throughout the rest of the dining experience, especially towards the end, when you're presenting the bill, you can mention your name again. So you want to get your name out in front of your customer. You want them to feel comfortable, like they know you. And customers do not like to give money to strangers. And if you want to make sure that you get lower tips, don't mention your name. Don't mention your name and you'll get lower tips. Mention your name, let your customer feel comfortable about who you are and your name, you're going to get more tips. So right there, we've added another 2% to the base tip. So now we're up to 15%. The next thing we're going to talk about is the server's apron. Now the server's apron, I hope you can see the one that I have on here. They're all pretty basic. They normally have 3 or 4 pockets. And this is just a way to keep all of your tools, etc., organized. And you can pick these up if you're in the States. You can order them from restaurant supply companies. You might even go to a restaurant and offer to buy one. I pick these up for my students a lot at Goodwill stores, thrift stores, etc. And they're generally a couple dollars used, and they're in good condition. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is your pens and pencils and your writing instruments. Every top shelf waiter should have at least 4 ballpoint pens. And you say, golly, why would I need 4 ballpoint pens? Well, trust me, they will grow legs. You'll loan one to a coworker and you won't get it back. You leave it on the table and the customer takes it home. There's a plethora of ways that you'll end up losing pens. So always have at least 4 ballpoint pens in your pocket here. The other thing that you need to have in your arsenal of tools is you need to have Sharpies. And the Sharpies you should always have 2 black Sharpies and you should have 2 red Sharpies. And again, these will either dry out or they'll grow legs. I would recommend that when you buy these, buy them in a big packet. I mean, if there's 6 or 8 or 10 in a packet, just buy the whole packet because you'll burn through these. So 2 black Sharpies, 2 red Sharpies, 4 blue or black ballpoint pens, and also you need to have 2 red ballpoint pens. These are red ink ballpoint pens. Whenever you're writing a thank you note to your customer, you want to contrast your name with the note. So your note might say something like, thank you, it was a pleasure to serve you. You're going to do that in black or blue ink, but you're going to sign your name in a contrasting color. And by doing it, say in red, that contrasting color is going to jump out and make more of an impression on your dining customer's brain. So again, 4 blue or black ballpoint pens, 2 black Sharpies, 2 red Sharpies, and 2 red ballpoint ink pens. So that kind of covers the ink pens. Now the next thing we're going to talk about is the server's combination bottle opener and wine bottle corkscrew tool. Now you can buy, if you're in the United States and you have access to Dollar Trees, you can buy these at Dollar Tree for $1 each. And they're basic bottle opener and corkscrew. You know, they won't last indefinitely, but they'll get you by. But you can also spend, $20 on some really high dollar ones. But the dollar ones will work good. Okay, so that's that. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the checkbook. And the checkbook, I'm going to step over here, and my helper's going to pull that out for me. Pull that checkbook out, please. And now I'm going to go to a sitting position, and I'm going to talk about the checkbook and what's in the checkbook. Now the checkbook is, I'll open it up here and hold it up. The checkbook is what you present the bill in. Okay, I like to present the bill standing up at an angle on the table like so. And by presenting the bill in a checkbook, that will command more of a tip from your dining customer. Now, we know that you're a professional. We know you're acting like a professional, but you need to look like a professional. And that's not only that professional uniform that we talked about earlier, but when you present a bill in a really nice checkbook like this, you're going to get on average about 2% more tip. It's a conscious or subconscious thing to the customer that they're dealing with a professional. Now these checkbooks are available through credit card companies and through banks. So if you should have at least 3 of these, preferably 4 of these, available for you and your serving experience. So have 3 or 4 of these checkbooks. You can go to a bank and ask them if they have them. This particular one, a Discover card provides these, but Visa, American Express also provide these. And you say, well, I know, but we don't take credit cards at my restaurant. That's okay. You use this book anyway, and what you can do is on the inside of the book, bear with me here, you can have a little note that says, cash only please. And it's important, cash only please. Okay, so they'll see that and they'll understand right away that you're a cash only establishment. But get these books either from a bank or credit card company or wherever. Should have 3 or 4 of these at your disposal. And now this one said Discover on the front, and we just marked out the Discover with a black Sharpie. So if you get one that says American Express or Discover, just you can mark it out if your restaurant does not accept credit cards. Now, within this checkbook, the other two things that you should have available are obviously the ticket. I hope you can see this. Hope I can hold it up. And, oops, bear with me. So here's the ticket. Now, if you can see, on the bottom of the ticket, it says thank you in black, and then it has the server's name in red. Every ticket should have a note written on it, either on the front or on the back. Now on the back of the ticket, you should have, I'll show you here, a note also. It says, thank you, it was a pleasure to serve you, please come again. That's in black or blue ink, and then you sign your name in red ink. Now that item right there, those thank you notes will garner you about a 2% increase in tips. So don't be afraid to overkill on the thank you notes. Okay, your customer is going to say, wow, this person really cares about us. So on that ticket, you're going to have thank you on both front and back, and that's going to give you about 2% more. Now, if your order ticket ends up being the same billing ticket, you should have this note, pre-write these notes on the back. When you come on shift, you should always have 10 notes pre-written on the back of either blank tickets or blank order tickets, whatever you happen to be using. So have 10 of these pre-written notes on the back. And, don't wait till you get to work. Either come into work early or do them at home and bring them to work with you. So again, really important to have those thank you notes on the back of the tickets. Okay. The next item in the checkbook that you should have is the review card. Now the review card, I'll hold this up again. I'll hold it up. The review card basically says review me, and the review card should cover like, was the service good, was the food good, was the place, there should be about 5 or 6 different questions on that review card, and that will keep you on your toes. It'll make you do a better job, and it'll let your customer know that you really care about them. And now, if you're in a culture where you have a bilingual culture, we'll say tourist area in Mexico, where you're serving both Mexicans and gringos, Americans, Canadians, English, wherever, you can have the review card on one side in English, and then you can do the reverse side in Spanish. Okay. Bear with me there. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the business card. Now, as you notice, I have my name tag, but also you should try to have at least 10 business cards. Now, if your restaurant has business cards, you take the business card, and on the back side, you're going to write your name, and you should write something like Google review me, or Google review me please, on the back of the business card. And when you present this business card, you can do this right at the beginning when you're doing the welcome and the introduction. So I'm going to go through that introduction again, and I'll show you how to present this card real quick. Welcome to Omaha Steakhouse. My name is Donald, and I'm going to be your server today. Donald is going to offer you a wonderful dining experience with delicious food and Donald's excellent, outstanding service. I'm going to leave my card on the table, and if there's anything that you need, feel free to ask for me, or if you like my service, ask for me when you come back, or tell your friends about me. But you should leave a business card with each couple that's at the table. So if there's 2 couples, leave 2 business cards. Now, you're not only self-branding and marketing yourself, but you're also marketing for the company and for the restaurant. Now, if your restaurant doesn't have business cards, tell them to bite the bullet, spend $15 or $20, get 1,000 business cards. They're a powerful, powerful, powerful tool that, if used correctly, will bring a lot of revenue to the restaurant and bring bigger tips for you. And so the business card, maybe 1% increase, but I think we're probably up to 16 or 17% where we're at on the tip scale. The next thing I want to talk about is candy. Now, you say, how would candy play into this? Candy is part of what we call the ABCD, above, beyond, the call of duty. If you give your customers more than they expect, you are going to make more money. And if you really treat them like royalty, they're going to feel good and they're going to reward you accordingly. Now, when you bring candy to the table, you can bring it in a couple different ways. You can, if you don't have a regular serving tray, which I'll show you here in a second. Can you see that, videographer? Okay, that's just a basic plate. And when you serve that candy to the customer, what I like to do is, if you can get a chocolate mint, everything has to be pre-wrapped in a package. Now this is called Lynn's Chocolate Mint Candy. And your restaurant may or may not be willing to fund your candy supply. And if they won't, they won't. But let me assure you, candy is not an expense. It is an investment. If you leave a 5-cent piece of candy, I guarantee you, you're gonna return another 50 cents to $1 in the tip scale. The candy and the candy dish is generally about a 2% average higher tip. So again, like I said, the candy, my preference is the chocolate mint candy. Now, if you can't get the chocolate mint candy, one of the other options is your peppermint candies. And I'll hold this one up here. Can you see that? Okay. So these all need to be pre-wrapped. You can buy these in bulk, like at Costco, Sam's Clubs, any big candy place. Again, I like the chocolate, but if you can't get that, at least do the peppermint ones. Now for the kids, if you have kids at the table, you might want to consider giving them something separate, different. And these are pre-wrapped. These are Werther's caramel chocolates. And again, you can buy these in bulk, and these will be for the kids. Okay, now I'm going to show you a serving tray. I'll get it up here, and then we're going to talk about how we serve the candy. This is, I'll get this up here. I'll put this on my lap, maybe, and I'll tip this up. Can you see that in the video? Okay, this is a really nice, classy serving tray. Now, if you have a Dollar Tree store near you, these are metal, good quality, they have a good finish on them, and they're $1. I don't know how they can make a serving tray for $1. But when you serve the candy, if you can get a serving tray like this, fabulous. If you can't, just use a nice plate. Don't throw the candy on the table. Don't put the candy in the checkbook. What you want to do is you want to personally take that 10 seconds, 12 seconds, whatever it takes, and you're going to go around the table, one person at a time, and you're going to offer them, say, "Ma'am, would you like a candy? Sir, would you like a candy? Ma'am, would you like a candy? And, sir, would you like a candy?" Now, if you have 4 people at the table, you should have 4 pieces of candy. But when you personally serve that, you're giving them really good individual attention. And consciously or subconsciously, they're gonna love it. They're gonna feel like they're being treated like a king or a queen, and they're gonna leave bigger tips. Again, the candy and the serving tray generally adds about 2 to 3% to your tip. And the next thing on here is we're going to talk about to-go boxes. Now, in most restaurants, you're going to have to-go boxes. And the to-go boxes can be and should be a really good marketing tool for you especially. Now, what I recommend is that you take, we have what we call before and after a to-go box. This is a before box. You should have probably at any given time 6 or 10 of these pre-made. And you'll notice that what we have here is we have the "Thank you sincerely" in black, and then we have your name on the to-go box. Okay, so you have those ready to go. So when your customer comes in and they have food left over, you're going to give them a to-go box. But we have a better approach to that, and this is again part of the ABCD, above and beyond the call of duty. Again, the candy's above and beyond the call of duty. The lemon slices in the water is above and beyond the call of duty. And the to-go boxes are also above and beyond the call of duty. So this is the after box, and again, you see at the top, it has "Sincerely," "Thank you sincerely," and then the server's name. But then, on the bottom, and this is where you're gonna write this in just before you bring the box back to the customer, whether they fill the to-go box or you fill the to-go box, you're gonna put down what the content of the box is, and you're gonna put the date. So if you have leftover fish, you're gonna write fish, you're gonna write Wednesday, whatever the day it is, and you're gonna write the calendar date as well. Now the reason you're doing that is when they get home and they see the styrofoam box in the refrigerator, they don't have to say, "What's in that styrofoam box?" They can just look, say, "Oh, that's the leftover fish from whatever restaurant they happen to be at." So it's a nice little touch, and your customers gonna like it. Plus, they're gonna see your name again on that box. Every time they see your name, they're gonna really appreciate what you did for them. And this is kind of a sidebar, but if you're a really good waiter, good server, and you self-brand yourself well enough, you will get, I guarantee you will get repeat customers that will ask for you. They'll make a reservation, or they'll show up and they'll say, I want so-and-so as my waiter. Okay, so that's the before and after to-go boxes. And this is probably maybe a 2% added value to your tip line. But trust me, we're up into the 20%. Now, I've got a couple last things here that are going to be kind of bonus things. You won't be able to use these at a lot of restaurants, just either because of lack of space or whatever. But one of the things that I think you should always have available is 2 or 3 water carafes. Now this is a small one. I think it might even be a vase for flowers for all I know, but it would work as a water carafe. Now if you get really busy in your serving, you might not be able to come back as fast and as often as you want to check on your dining customer to fill their glasses up. So an option is you get your own 3 or 4 water carafes, and a couple easy ways to get those. Sometimes you can go to a liquor store and there's actually wines. I know there's some California wines that come, they're in a carafe already and they have a lid on top. You have to drink the wine, but get 3 or 4 of these water carafes. And again, this falls into the above and beyond the call of duty, A, B, C, D. And that is, when you set this water carafe down on the table, make sure that you either have sliced lime in it, sliced lemon, or sliced cucumbers. That'll add a little extra taste to the water, and your customer is going to really, really appreciate that. So that's kind of a bonus thing. I think most restaurants you could do that. If the restaurant owner is not willing to provide it, you got to step up to the plate and just do it yourself. Another bonus thing, and this is especially for evening diners and couples, is get yourself some inexpensive candles. Now, if you have room on the table and it's a couple, probably don't want to do this if they have kids at the table, but if it's couples, have 3 or 4 of these candles at your disposal. After they sit down and after you've done the introduction, fire up a candle. It gives a really nice ambiance to the dining experience, and your customer is going to really feel appreciated. So you need to get a candle and you need to get a lighter. So, you don't want to use matches. You're going to have to go get yourself some kind of a lighter to light the candles with. If you're in a family type restaurant, an idea that you can try is for the kids, invest in Crayolas. Crayolas. I have just a little handful here, but you could either get a big, bowl, Tupperware, bowl, whatever, and keep Crayolas in there for the kids, keep them occupied. Now, as an example, I'm going to show you here. This is a Denny's. This is a Denny's restaurant. This is one of the restaurants that we work with. This is a Denny's coloring book for the kids. You might be in an area where you can't get something like this. So an alternative is you buy a coloring book, you find some pages in the coloring book, you go to a copy shop and you make copies. You know, you make 10 or 20 copies of a couple different pages, and you give that to the kids along with the colors. The other option is you can just get blank 8.5 by 11 copy paper and just give them blank paper and colors. Let them do their own artistic work. But the coloring book pages seems to work well. Well, I think that wraps up today's video. In closing, I'm going to say that if you follow these tips and techniques and use these tools, the more the tools you use, the more tip you're going to make. Now, I had a student that was averaging 15% tips. When he implemented these ideas and these tools, his average went up to 32% tips. Now, I realize that cultures and different parts of the country, you've got different tip structure. But if you want to make more money, more tips, and more profit, put these tools, tips, and techniques into practice. Again, Donald Spangler with Hospitality Institute, wishing you a great day and have a lot of fun serving your fellow man. Thank you.